Hello and welcome to another Vinny Talks Yanks. I'm your host Vincent LaRose, and man, it has been a while. I think it's almost 2 weeks now since I posted my last full long YouTube video. I was just on vacation and I wanted to take a little break. Honestly, I had been covering the Yankees so much over the offseason. It was honestly getting me angry, to be completely honest, because of everything that's going on. But I've sat for 2 weeks. I've really thought about everything. I've taken everything into consideration. The Yankees signed Paul Goldschmidt in that time. They made a trade. So we're going to really just break down the whole entire Yankees offseason, what this means for next year, and really what I think of the Yankees overall. I'll give them an offseason grade. I'll throw some lineup predictions in there that are not super accurate, just like an idea throwing out there. Obviously, it's going to be mix and match, of course. But yeah, it's been a minute. So we'll just get right into the video. Nothing more to talk about. So, as we all know, the Yankees have had a questionable offseason, with most saying that the Yankees are simply feeling the exact same team they did last year. And it's kind of frustrating when you look at it from like the very tip of the iceberg. You'd be very frustrated. There's more into it, of course. Obviously, you still should be frustrated. The Yankees should have done a little bit more, but let's not get into that yet. We're going to go right into the moves the Yankees made this offseason. So, to pretty much start the Yankees offseason, it all started at Trent Grisham accepting the qualifying offer from the Yankees for $22.025 million, which is a ton of money for Trent Grisham. I like Trent Grisham. I love the season he had last year. Not worth $22 million. I think we can mostly all agree with that. He did have a very good year last year. We know he's got a lead defense, but I wouldn't pay that much, especially for the said circumstances the Yankees had going on. After Grisham, the Yankees would then re-sign Yarborough. They would also re-sign Amit Rosario and Paul Blackburn. And that was kind of it for a good amount of time. It was a little bit before we got even another move. There was tons of talk going on, but the next move would be the only true addition the Yankees had to this offseason. And I say true addition in the sense of this is an arm they added that is actually exciting. They added 2 more arms, if you know what I mean. But the Yankees did trade for starting pitcher Ryan Weathers. They traded for him. They got him from the Marlins. Oh my God. The Yankees got Ryan Weathers from the Marlins. They gave up, I believe, 4 prospects. I'm not even going to go into deep. I already had a video talking about the whole scenario. So, yeah, that was pretty much our big offseason move. The Yankees came out early in the offseason and said they needed a starting pitcher, and that ended up being the starting pitcher. A lot of people wanted it to be Freddie Peralta or Mackenzie Gore. They were looking into Edward Cabrera. They were looking into even Sandy Alcantara. Is it Alcantara? Alcantara? I'm pretty sure it's Alcantara. I'm sorry, I'm mixing his name up. And 3 pitchers from the Marlins. We end up getting the one of the 3 that I don't think any of us even expected. So it was quite interesting. Weathers is good. He was throwing some live at bats today against Paul Goldschmidt. He was hitting 98.5. So he was pitching well. I am excited for him. But then the move that everybody was kind of waiting for that took way longer than it should have. The Yankees did end up re-signing Cody Bellinger. I'm sure everybody knows it at this point. It was a 5-year, $162.5 million deal. He has opt-outs over the 27 and the 28 season. He has a full no-trade clause, the whole 9 yards with Cody Bellinger's contract, and good for Cody Bellinger, to be completely honest. I don't think he's worth that much money, to be truthful, and the way they structured his contract. The Yankees are paying a ton of money right now. So I was kind of surprised to see they structured the contract the way they did, but that's for a whole different conversation. The Yankees would then trade for Rockies relief pitcher. It's Angel Chilivi. It looks like Angel Chilivi or Chivili. it's Angel Chivili. I can't say his name. Chivili. I can't say his name right, but he is actually he's a pretty good arm from the Rockies. I know his ERA is really inflated, and you want to see him get his walks down, but I do think Matt Blake can work with him well, and that is the one arm I saw that actually really mattered to me in the bullpen. I'll get into later. It's kind of the same, And to end the offseason, as so far at least, it's probably the last somewhat significant move. The Yankees did re-sign Paul Goldschmidt. So that is kind of what the the Yankees did this offseason. There's going to be a comparison to this team, this year's team and this year's team and last year's team. I'll put them up like right here so you guys can look at them. So not a lot different, to be completely honest. Mostly re-signs. We didn't really have a lot of free agents coming off the books besides Bellinger. That's like really the only big free agent we had coming off. And I guess you consider Williams, but you know, screw Devin Williams. So he's a Met now. But as you guys could see, not really a huge difference. The biggest change I would say is the bullpen, and simply from addition by subtraction. The Yankees didn't retain Devin Williams, Luke Weaver, Mark Leiter Jr., Ian Hamilton, Scott Efros, Jake Cousins, and there was somebody else, but I forgot. And it's pretty much addition by subtraction. Every one of those guys either struggled or was on the injured list last year. They either performed poorly or didn't perform not one bit, or didn't perform at all. Proper English, Vinny. Holy shit. So it was kind of disappointing, our bullpen last year, because going into the season, I thought our bullpen was going to be pretty good. But the really huge difference is this. Now you have Bednar, Duvall, and Bird for an entire season. Well, obviously, we traded them for the trade time deadline, barring an injury, of course. And then you have the addition of Angel Chileve. Oh my god, I'm going to keep saying this guy. Chivilli. I'm saying Chivilli, I don't care. And Osvaldo Bido, another guy the Yankees picked up. So really not a lot, to be completely honest. They really only added 2 arms. There is a starter like Warren, or I doubt Schlittler, Warren, or maybe Weathers, that ends up going to the bullpen. But I doubt it. This bullpen is interesting, to say the least. I just, with the Yankees past, you almost kind of have to trust them. Bullpen, at least. Last year was like the first year we really saw a Yankees bullpen struggle for quite a long time. But you know, it's so hard to really put into words with how the Yankees really handled their bullpen this offseason. I don't like what they did, to be honest. It's not great. They should have picked some other guys up, and obviously they didn't. So there was definitely some free agents on the board the Yankees could have picked up that they opted not to go to. So yeah, but the true differences in the roster are almost non-existent. It's essentially just the same guys coming back. So there's different guys, obviously, we haven't seen last year. Cole, Cabrera was out pretty early in the season. Those 2 guys are going to be back at the start of the season. I'm not remembering some other people for some reason, but those 2 guys, like the main guys. All right, we were a 94 win team last year. Now imagine if it was Cole instead of Warren. We're probably a 97 win team or 98 win team, which I can get behind. I really can. But you can't base that on this upcoming season based on how guys performed last year. It's just, you just can't. And the Yankees knew where their holes were. It was shortstop. We needed another starter in the bullpen. They didn't get a shortstop. They didn't really do anything with the bullpen, and they got a starter that is very good, is a promising arm, but has had a very lengthy injury history. So now you're right back on the Yarborough Blackburn phase. So I don't know. I don't think a lot of Yankees fans are happy. I don't think a lot of people around the Yankees really believe in this team besides the people on the actual inside. Not saying I don't believe in this team to be a good team. I just don't necessarily believe in. Come on, guys. Like, look at the Dodgers roster. They're not touching the Dodgers. That's a great example of that. In the American League, I can see a possibility of them winning the American League East. And I could see a possibility of them winning the American League pennant. I don't even think we're the best team in our division, though, so it's really, really hard to, get behind this team, to be completely honest. I'm kind of excited for the WBC, and that's about it. Of course, I want to watch baseball. I'm going to watch baseball. I'm going to watch every game, no matter if we're a below 500 team, to be completely honest, but it's really hard to get behind this team. Yeah, but let's get into the infield. There was really no offseason additions to the infield at all. The really only big difference we're gonna see is now that Penn Rice will be the starter every day. He's gonna be the everyday first baseman. Goldie was signed, and Goldie is aware that he's a bench bat. Goldie decided to come back to the Yankees He had more starting position and more money offered elsewhere, but he liked playing with the Yankees. He liked the culture. He came back, and I actually really like that. When Yankees really, really need guys like that. Because, of course, you have your Aaron Judge, who's the captain. You're going to have Garrett Cole, Max Fried, but you need a guy on the bench, a veteran presence that's always on the bench to really uplift and teach these guys, because Goldie is one of the better first basemen to ever play baseball, and he's very old now, obviously, old for baseball player terms. So he definitely has some wise words to give. He definitely has some, what am I trying to say here? Goldie is very important. Okay, he's going to be almost like a player coach in a sense. He's going to be a bat against lefties. He's going to be a guy you listen to when he speaks, and the Yankees really need that. They have a ton of young guys right now, and I think it's very important to have that. So I'm very happy that Goldie decided and the Yankees did decide to bring that back. The really only big difference to say in the infield is obviously we have Caballero and McMahon for a full season, obviously, and Cabrera as well. Cabrera is coming off injured. Caballero is going to bounce around a lot once Volpe comes back, even though I think he's a better choice for shortstop right now. Yes, Volpe is better defensively and has more power. I just think Caballero's not a better shortstop than Volpe. Like, you try to tell yourself that he's not. Volpe should be way better than him, but it's almost even, which is nuts. But McMahon will be your majority day third baseman, starting third baseman. Oh my god. As we all know, the defense is elite, and apparently he has tweaked his swing, so I'm very interested to see that. Maybe McMahon blows up this year and gives us another year, like I think it was 2023 with the Rockies, maybe 2022. He was an all-star for the Rockies, and as we all know, that the glove is disgusting. He's one of the best defensive third basemen in baseball. He can field up there with anybody. But getting into the outfield now, the outfield is exactly the same. It's going to be Bellinger in left, Grisham in center, and Judge in right. Stanton obviously is listed as an outfield. Well, he's actually listed as DH, but I see it very hard. It's very unlikely that Stanton will get any time in the outfield this year, especially now with Dominguez and Jones. Dominguez at this point will likely just be on the bench, but it is possible that he will start the year in the minors. At the beginning of the offseason, we were hearing the potential of Spencer Jones getting a start or finally getting a shot in the majors, but after re-signing Belly and Grisham, I really doubt it. Maybe if we have just some sort of injury, like a Grisham goes down, so they have Belly in center field every day, so they want to give Jones a chance to maybe prove himself, maybe get a bat up there. It's possible Stanton goes down. If Stanton goes down, they're going to bring up another outfielder, whether that be if Dominguez is down or Jones is still Jones will be in the minors. So we'll see what they do there. So the outfield is pretty much the same, with best outfield in baseball last year, so you really can't complain about that. They're also the best offense in baseball last year, so it's very hard to get angry with what they did with the offense. Although I do think they are still a little too much lefty heavy, but I think they can work around that. I don't think it's going to be too big of an issue, because at the end of the day, man, majority of the guys you face are going to be right-handed pitchers. It's really only going to suck when you're facing elite left-handed starting pitching and when you're facing a team with a bullpen with more than two left-handers, because even two, if it's just a series, you can really you can minimize how much they're on the mound. So the Yankees can work around it. But of course, there's the starting pitching. Weathers, as I said before, is the only addition of the offseason. It's really if he can just stay healthy and consistent. His numbers are good, then he gets hurt, and then he comes back and his numbers are bad. And it's consistency and health is key for Ryan Weathers. Ryan Weathers can be an elite starting pitcher in Major League Baseball, but truthfully, I see him working more out of the bullpen for the Yankees, to be completely honest. But Cole will be back in late May. But are we expecting Cole from 2 years ago? You can't do that. Even the Cy Young Cole, obviously you're not going to expect a Cy Young Cole, but the reports are Cole was sitting, his fastball was sitting at 96. He feels good. He's talked about how good he feels, so I'm not expecting a bump coming back, obviously, but I'm also not expecting a Cy Young coming back. So, of course, we also have Rodon. Rodon has been moving quicker than expected, of course. He had the surgery, bone spur surgery in this elbow. Not this elbow. The screen's inverted. Now I confuse everybody. I'm sorry. But Rodon has been recovering well, and it's still said probably late April, but it's possible middle April. He should only be a couple weeks out of opening day, so that is very good to hear. And then Fried is Max Fried. He's just going to have to carry the weight at pretty much the beginning of the season when, you're missing Rodon and Cole, carrying some guys that aren't really used to getting every single day starts. They've never really got everyday start, or not everyday starts, but constant rotation of every 5 days of starts. Warren you can put in that boat, but Schlittler has only had so much time in the MLB. Weathers has been hurt so much, so you're really putting at that. Heel, yes, he has had regular time, but so we got Fried. Then you have Schlittler. Of course, Schlittler is super, super, super exciting. I can't wait to see Cam Schlittler. I can't stop thinking about those two postseason starts, man. I'm really excited. But of course, we did see some not great starts in the regular season, so I'm curious to see how Schlittler will manage and how he will be. I know he had a little bit of a back problem recently, inflammation in his back. They were saying it was a lower lat going down to the back, but it was not his throwing side. It was his left side over here, or on camera 10, whatever. This is his left side over here. It's not his throwing arm, so they're not expecting anything to come up of that. They're expecting him to throw in a couple days. And then you have Will Warren, and Will Warren is kind of like the man in the middle for me almost. He can change your season in a great way and a bad way at the same time. Will Warren can go out, start the season hot, you really like what you're seeing, but he can also go out and be that man every fifth day. You're like, oh no, he's on the mound. I see going either way for Will Warren. Will Warren stuff is great. Working with Matt Blake has helped Will Warren so much, and I really do think Will Warren can be a good starter in the MLB. I don't think he's ever going to be an elite starter. I don't think he's going to be a 1 or 2, but he could get to a point where he's a 3 or a 4 and is giving good, consistent starts nearly every single day he goes out there. And I like that. I'm really excited to see what Will Warren will do this season. And then you have Luis Hill. I love Luis Hill. He's a great starter. It's really just, can Luis Hill stay healthy? His fastball was looking good as well. I think they clocked him at 97. They topped out at 97 so far. His fastball's looking great. It's just, can we see Rookie of the Year Luis Hill? And I really do think we can, if he can stay healthy. They have to find a way to keep Luis Hill healthy. I don't care if that means the first 4 starts of the season he's only going 4 innings. That's why you have Yarbrough and Blackburn. If you have to piggyback his starts just to make sure he's good and going, I'm really okay with that. I want to see Luis Hill in another full season. I think he can be an amazing starter for us. I also think he can be really good at the bullpen. He could be a sneaky good bullpen pitcher, but that is probably unlikely. I think they'll move Weathers or Warren into the bullpen before they move Hill. So at the beginning of the season, the rotation is looking like this: Fried at your 1 for sure. Then it's going to be a mix-up. I think they go Schlittler at the 2 just because even they kind of showed that in the playoffs last year. They trust him a little bit more than Hill. But then you'd have Hill at the 3, Weathers at the 4, Warren at the 5. Warren is 100% going to be, I can guarantee you this, Fried at 1, Warren at 5. And then it's just going to be a mix of the other 3. I think you might possibly put Weathers at 3. It kind of just depends on who are we going against. Wow, I don't even know who we're playing against opening day. I don't know. It also depends on, how they're moving in spring training too. It's a 5 rotation in the sense of would be your 5 if you had no choice. Like, this is the 5 you had to go with, or it can mix up, of course. But Fried is going to be your 1. Warren's going to be your 5. I can guarantee you that. So, of course, if there's any injuries, which it would be amazing if we got through a spring training without any starting pitching injuries, Warren would slide, or not Warren, Jesus, Yarbrough would slide into that 5 spot, and if anything more, 2 injuries, which would be really bad, Blackburn was Yarbrough 4, Blackburn 5. Then you have Warren at your 3, which is rough. But we'll see what happens. Maybe Warren's the guy that gets hurt. Who knows? Not saying that anybody shouldn't have said that, but whatever. But Rodon will come back first for the starting pitching, so we're going to see either Warren or Weathers move to the bullpen. I think it really just depends on performance at that point. Either each guy is only probably going to be 3, maybe 4 starts in when Rodon comes back. So probably 4, maybe 5 actually. So you kind of got like 4 starts to kind of prove themselves. I think they're going to go Warren in the bullpen before they'll go Weathers in the bullpen. Both guys can be optioned as well, so I'm curious to see what they're going to do there. And then, of course, when Cole comes back, if, say, perfect world, everybody's still healthy, Cole comes back, whoever wasn't dropped before is going to be dropped then. I think you're going to flop either you're going to send down either Warren or Weathers, whichever one, not sent down, maybe put in the bullpen, whichever one wasn't moved beforehand when Rodon came back. So that's the starting pitching. So we'll get into kind of my lineup predictions. This is going to be versus righties. I think it's going to be about the same it was last year. You're going to have Grisham leading off in center, Judge at the 2 and right, Bellinger at the 3 and left, Rice at 4 first base, Stanton 5 DH, Jazz at the 6 second base, Wells 7 catching, Caballero 8 shortstop, and McMahon at third base hitting 9th. I think Caballero's in between Wells and McMahon, kind of just to break up the lefties. There is, at this point, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lefties in that lineup, so you kind of have to do it in a way where you're going to have back-to-back lefties twice. And then, of course, the lineup against lefties. I do think they sit Rice against lefties. I think they pretty much the reason they signed Goldie was to have him lead off against lefties. Like Goldie at the 1 at first, Judge at the 2 playing right, Bellinger at the 3 playing left, Stanton at the 4 DHing, Grisham at the 5 at center, Rosario at third, Cabrera at second, Wells catching again, and Caballero at short. I think you put Caballero on 9 at that point. And this is just a simple, like, basic prediction. You can move the lineups either way. I think it'll work out. Obviously, like, you have Cabrera now, you have Caballero. Volpe's going to come back, so I didn't include Volpe in. So at this point, my overall grade for the Yankees for the end of this offseason would be a C. Not great, obviously, not terrible, but they needed to do more. I think we all know they needed to do more, and they should have done more, and they didn't. At the beginning of the season, we heard the rumors of keeping the payroll down, and now the payroll is like super inflated after Bellinger's contract. So, a very strange standpoint for the Yankees. It's almost like they didn't want to hear we don't spend money rumors anymore, but then at the same time, we're like, well, we don't want to go crazy. It was very weird to me, but I do think this is a team that can win a pennant, not a World Series. Absolutely not. There's no way this team can win the World Series unless somehow, someway, the Dodgers absolutely collapse. And even then, I think teams like, I think the Braves are still even better. To be completely honest, people might think that's crazy because of the year they had last year, but I think they do. Looking at that team, they dealt with a lot of injuries. It wouldn't surprise me if the Yankees went against the Phillies and the Phillies smacked us, to be completely honest. Although I don't think that they were the team they used to be, but that is where I'm going to end it. I'm going to upload a little bit more often now. As spring training goes on, it'll be any major updates, any major news, but it's likely going to just be 2 videos a week right now until the season starts, and then once the season starts, it'll be a recap of every single series and any major news or updates. So, as always, I appreciate everybody for watching, if you're on the YouTube side or if you're on the podcast side, for listening. I know it was a really tough listen today. I messed up a lot, but I appreciate every last one of you. I hope everybody has a wonderful day, and as always, go Yankees.